My name is Debbie and this is Pouring My Art Out for the Lord. And I have a design team project today for the Create with Scrimping Mummy. And Amanda has given us on the Facebook group, she sometimes often does Friday freebies. Not every single week, but often. And this week, or I guess this past week, it was these butterfly charms and, well, butterfly circles. So I made them into little charms, and Amanda showed how to do this actually in her tutorial. It's a beautiful page with butterfly squares, different colors. I really like how she distressed them. They're kind of a watercolor, but she's done some distressing. They're just beautiful, beautiful colors. And then I turned all of the circles into little charms. They're double-sided, so I used all of the circles in the kit to make these charms. Of course, you can print it out as many times as you want and make more charms. And then I just put an eyelet in them and a little jump ring. So again, Amanda has done a tutorial on how to make those. And then last week, the previous week, Amanda had these sort of Tim Holt-ish people on these collage backgrounds that she made. And she had a set of 4. Here's another one. And I really liked these cards, and I thought I'm going to combine them and make something with both of these together. First I thought, you know, wow, these are like totally different styles, kind of a grungy, vintagey, and then a beautiful watercolor. But when you put them together, actually it works really well. So. And then I watched a video by Redeemable Junk Journals on October 5th, and she made a video on junk journal toppers. And I basically copied her formula. I didn't change it that much, so thank you so much for that inspiration. And I'll link her video below. And she made these toppers. And she had a focal point on some muslin and then lace around it. I changed it up a little bit, but I did copy most of her elements. Sewed a couple of buttons here, put a little key on a bulb pin there, and some layers of lace. And I think it's just a really beautiful journal topper. So I thought I would make a couple more with the other cards that Amanda had in her freebie, and the butterflies as well. So this is what you need to do this. I used a scrap of muslin. I have muslin from my sewing days, from my quilting days, and this was already previously tea-dyed years ago, so it works perfect. I wanted it to be a little bit bigger than these cards. I could have put another layer of something on these cards. In fact, maybe I'll make one after this one with just another layer. But I thought it just looks a little odd to have it in the center because there's too much space, I think, on either side. So I just put it more towards the left, and then I'll put a strip of lace or something on the side there. So maybe I'll just glue that on. First, I'm going to sew this, but I want to just glue it on where I want it so it's not going to budge when I sew it and when I put layers and stuff on it. So I just basically glued that in the center so I can still stick things underneath. I have a piece of lace. I have a whole bundle of lace. Most of it is coffee dyed or tea dyed. Here's some of this sort of trim and some more lace, and I have some of this white. I cut up a lace dress that I found at a thrift shop and used that. I'm going to use that for one of the layers. And Redeemable Junk Journals did use something very similar to this. She used a white layer at the bottom hanging off, and then the other strips of lace. So really, I'm just, I'm doing what she did with slightly different elements. So go watch her video as well. It's really neat how she did these. So I thought I would just put a piece of lace at the side here, and I want this to be overlapped on the image here so that I can sew the lace down at the same time. So I'm just going to put that there. Maybe I'll just use a couple of pins to keep that in place until I sew. So there and down here. Sometimes I really like to personalize my cover based on, you know, what's inside the journal, and I never know what's going to be inside the journal until I finish the journal. And my journals often start a certain way and then they kind of take on a life of their own. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but they sort of change into something that I wasn't envisioning. So but I also like to have some journal toppers ready so that if I just make a journal and I want to put a quick topper on that looks great, because these do take, you know, there's a few different supplies and things like that. So once you gather all that stuff, it's nice to do a little bit of a mass make, and then you've got some things for later. So, and so then I have this this lace, and I'm just going to cut this about like this, and I'm going to just let this drape off the bottom. So I'm just going to take that pin out and kind of stick that just a little bit underneath the card here, and then I'll sew that on when the card is being sewn on as well. I think that's enough so that part of it will be sewn on anyways. There we go. And I'll just pin that in place. My hands are rough from, my fingers are rough from gardening and stuff, so all the little rough spots catch the lace and pull the lace over. So I'm just going to sew around those 4 sides, and then I'll come back and show you the next step. There, I've sewn around all 4 edges there. And I forgot to mention that the piece of muslin that I used as my base is 4.5 inches wide and 6 inches long. But you can adapt that to your journal size and your size of your focal point. And then I want to put on a couple more pieces of lace. And I have a really wide piece of lace here that I thought I might use. Like that. So this is actually really super wide, but I think, well, maybe I do want, I don't know if I want the whole thing. I might just tuck in that part here. That's not very exciting. Yeah, I like that. So there's one layer of lace, and I'm going to stitch that in a minute. I also have this I can't remember what it's called, entredo or something like that. I used it when I made some christening dresses years ago, and I used this for that. It's just a kind of a fine sewing thing. This one actually needs a little bit of pressing, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. And it needs maybe one more thing here. What else do I have? It's a long piece here. In the end, I could do a little bit of this lace maybe. I almost need a bit of a contrast though. I have this one that I used on my first one. It has the teal in it. I think I might use that again. It doesn't quite have the teal in there, but it's got the blue and the green, which is kind of a mix of the teal. So I'm just going to use a piece of that. And then again, I'm going to go to my sewing machine and I'm just going to sew, I might sew a couple of lines just to get everything fastened on across here. And then I'll be right back again. Okay, so I just layered this teal lace on top of this, I think it's called entredo, something like that, on the top part of that, and then this wide lace is layered underneath that. So I just did one zigzag stitch across to fasten all those layers. I want this to be kind of loose, but I want everything to stay, obviously, so that's what I did. And then I also stitched a really loose zigzag at the bottom there, just to fasten on. I folded up the bottom edge of that really wide lace there. So there's my base done. And the next thing I want to do is put some buttons on. So I've got some different sizes and shapes and whatever of buttons. Could put a dark one there. This is a bit of a dark photo. I think I like that, actually. So I just have a needle that has a little bit of this crochet cotton on it. I use this for binding books and all kinds of stuff. It's cheap and it lasts a long time for different things like this. So I'm just going to kind of remember where I have those, and I'll sew this one on first. So I'll just show you how to sew one on, and then I'll kind of fast forward through this. So this is a 4-hold button. Sometimes they're 2-hold, sometimes they're 4-hold. So the 4-hold ones I usually do kind of a X in the middle. So I go down one side, or down one hole rather, and then up kind of the hole diagonally across from it, and then I'll go down through one of the empty holes and back up through the other empty hole, which is across diagonally from the one I just went down. Sometimes I have to stab a couple of times just to get it right. And then, oh, I didn't do this one in a zigzag, in an X actually. Anyways, which is fine. And then I just leave a long tail at the top. I have 2 tails at the top, and I leave myself lots of room with these tails, and tie it and then cut it shorter there. So simple as that. Just really simple, just a simple sew on that, and I want the knot to show at the top, so I just do it like that. So I'm just gonna fast forward and sew the other 2 buttons on. Okay, so I've got my 3 buttons sewn on here, and then I'm just going to put a little charm with a bulb pin on. And I have this whole little bag of key charms, so I thought they would be cute on here. So I'll just put one of those on a bulb pin. These are both kind of the antique bronze, I think is usually what they call the color. So I'll just clip one of those on there. And there's the bottom, and then we'll just put a butterfly charm up there as well. So let's see what I have left. I have the green one, which probably would look the best, I think. I also have blue, which matches the stamp there. Pink, probably not, this one. So I think I'm going to use the green one. I think I like the green one the best. So I'll take another bulb pin. And I've already put an eyelet in here and a jump ring in there. I think I mentioned that before, but so I'm just going to put a bulb pin in there and attach that up at the top here. And then we have the butterfly charm as well. So here's the journal. This is actually the back of a journal cover. But there's how that one looks on a journal cover. So I think they look really cool. This one I would probably just do a little bit more fraying of the muslin. So you can just take something pokey and just kind of poke or just work at the threads, you can do that as well. And just do a little bit more fraying if you like on the edges. And then this one is already tea dyed, but you can distress the edges a little bit more, which I did on the other one. Just take a little bit of ink. This is walnut stain distress ink. And just do a little bit just at the edge so that it's a little bit darker on the edges. There. So there's my finished journal topper. So I think those look really cute. So I'm going to do one more with, I'll do another focal image and I'll put maybe some book page behind it, and then put the muslin behind that. So then I'll have 3 layers. So I'm just going to fast forward through this part because you've seen all the steps, and then you can just kind of see how I'm doing it through the fast forward video. So here we go. And there is another one. So once you get all your supplies out and just have everything ready, they actually go fairly quick. I didn't mention, but I'm putting the buttons in a cluster of 3. And odd numbers always kind of look more pleasing to the eye. I don't know if there's science behind that, but there's art behind that, I guess. So I put a cluster of 3 buttons, different sizes, different colors. And then this is kind of on the other side. I put the weight of the buttons on this side balanced with the dangle. I wanted the dangle on this side so I could read the "How I Love Jesus" words on that side. Again, this is a 2-sided butterfly. It kind of matches, it does match the colors in the rest of the focal point, and it kind of just all balances. So yeah, so I'm going to continue making a couple more. I'll show some pictures at the end, just some still pictures. But if you're interested in making these, go grab the freebies from Amanda Create with Scrimping Mummies Facebook group. She's got this one this past week and this one the week before, and they look fabulous together. So thanks so much, Amanda, and thanks so much, Brittany, from Redeemable Junk Journals, for giving us the tutorial on the journal toppers. And thanks, blessings. See you in the next video.